Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chrisley knows best. Could Todd's previous arrests affect pardon? Could Chrisley knows best alum? Todd Chrisley's previous arrests affect him and his wife getting a possible pardon? Todd and Julie Chrisley have been behind bars since January 2023, but their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, is putting up a fight. She is ready to take this to President Trump, but could she hit a wall? Keep reading for more details. Could Todd Chrisley's previous arrests affect pardon? Todd Chrisley was sentenced to 12 years behind bars after being found guilty of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud. His wife, Julie Chrisley, received a 7-year sentence, and they headed off to different prisons. In January 2023, Todd was off to Pensacola, Florida, whereas Julie headed to Kentucky. They both faced horrid living conditions which their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, set out to expose. She wanted the world to know how badly her parents were suffering and the conditions they were living in. Many had to remind her that this was prison and not a hotel. She was determined to do anything and everything possible to free them. Julie had a resentencing but ended up with a longer probation. Todd will soon be transferred as his jail is closing, but no one knows where he will land. Savannah claims that the warden wants retaliation against Todd. So anything is possible, but she is actively working on getting her parents a pardon. However, fans have noticed that Todd has a history of arrests and wonder if that could affect his chances of being pardoned. According to Chrisley Knows Prison, which was shared on a Reddit thread, he was arrested in 1988 for simple assault. That was followed up in 1993 for shoplifting and then in 1995 for a fraudulent check. That same year, Todd Chrisley was arrested for obtaining property by false pretenses. This all went down in South Carolina, and is unclear if they remained on his record or affected his sentence. So will this affect Todd and Julie being pardoned? Apparently, they do look at arrest history, so it could be an issue. Questionable fate being pardoned will take a lot, and Savannah Chrisley has gotten her ducks in a row. She has worked very hard and tirelessly to get close to President Trump. More so, she is desperate for him to hear her pleas regarding her parents and pardon them. After seeing Todd Chrisley's previous arrest record, did followers think this would impact his chances? Another person noted that Todd had allegedly stolen a jet ski several years back, but could not show any proof. It will be fascinating to see if this is a hindrance to the pardoning situation. Todd Chrisley has never been one to shy away from the spotlight. Whether he's serving up snappy one-liners on Chrisley Knows Best or managing the chaos of his extravagant Southern family, Todd always kept his world spinning, until the music stopped in 2022 with a conviction that sent him and wife Julie behind bars for tax evasion and bank fraud. Now, as whispers of a potential presidential pardon swirl, fans are asking, could Todd's past legal missteps come back to haunt him? A Southern showman's fall from grace. Once the king of reality TV's Southern charm, Todd Chrisley built a reputation for being impeccably dressed, quick-witted, and unapologetically over the top. His picture-perfect image was carefully curated until federal prosecutors pulled back the curtain. In 2022, the reality stars were convicted of conspiring to defraud banks out of more than $30 million in loans by submitting false documents and hiding income from their TV show. Todd was handed a 12-year prison sentence. Julie received 7. The world watched, stunned, as the Chrisley empire crumbled in real time. Now, with presidentially issued pardons grabbing headlines in an election year, there's a growing buzz that Todd could make a bid for clemency. But will the ghosts of his legal past sabotage his hopes? The curious case of Todd's earlier legal trouble. While the 2022 conviction was Todd's most high-profile brush with the law, it wasn't his first. In fact, Todd had legal run-ins dating back nearly a decade earlier, troubles that were largely overlooked by the public during his rise to fame. In 2012, long before federal charges entered the picture, Todd faced a separate investigation involving his business dealings. Though those matters didn't lead to convictions, they cast a shadow over his financial practices. Whispers about questionable real estate investments and rumors of inflated net worth claims followed him like a persistent Georgia humidity. Todd portrayed himself as a man under siege, claiming he was being unfairly targeted. But in a world where perception and paperwork don't always match, critics questioned whether he was simply laying the groundwork for a defense that would echo years later. What it takes to get a presidential pardon. Let's get real. Presidential pardons are no small feat. They're rare, they're political, and they're often granted only after someone has shown extraordinary remorse, rehabilitation, or a compelling humanitarian reason. Traditionally, the Department of Justice looks at several factors when considering a pardon, including the seriousness of the offense, the length of time since conviction, and, here's the kicker, the applicant's prior criminal record. While Todd's previous brushes with the law may not have led to convictions, they could still paint a broader picture that doesn't work in his favor. The federal government doesn't just weigh technicalities, they weigh patterns. And for someone seeking a pardon just a couple years into a lengthy sentence, the road is already steep. Add a history of financial murkiness, and the climb gets vertical. The politics of pardon. But in today's America, the rules of the game aren't exactly traditional. High-profile pardons in recent years, some granted to celebrities and politicians alike, have blurred the lines between justice and showbiz. Could Todd Chrisley, ever the savvy self-promoter, leverage his fame and fan base into a compelling pardon campaign? He's got the name recognition, a loyal TV following, and a family willing to shout his innocence from every rooftop with Wi-Fi. His daughter, Savannah Chrisley, has been especially vocal, launching podcast episodes, social media campaigns, and even hinting at legal appeals with political backing. Rumors have even circulated that certain insiders within the entertainment industry and conservative political circles are lobbying quietly on Todd's behalf, hoping to use his case as a symbol of alleged overreach by federal prosecutors. If a presidential candidate wanted to make headlines by rescuing a pop culture figure who represents traditional family values, at least on camera, Todd Chrisley could become an unlikely poster child. But that's a very big if. Todd's own actions might be his worst enemy. Ultimately, the person who could most stand in the way of Todd's pardon might be Todd himself. In interviews and statements issued since his conviction, Todd has maintained his innocence with the same unwavering confidence that made him a star. But in the pardon world, remorse counts for a lot. Denial, even if sincere, can be seen as a refusal to take accountability. And presidential pardons aren't just about legal exoneration. They're about character rehabilitation. Every time Todd, or a family member, asserts that the government got it wrong, it may gain sympathy from fans, but it also distances him from the humility that pardon reviewers look for. If he truly wants to make the case for mercy, Todd may need to trade his trademark defiance for a different kind of Southern grace, repentance. A complicated road ahead. So, could Todd Chrisley's previous arrests and legal issues derail a potential presidential pardon? The short answer is yes, they very well could. Even if not criminal convictions, those past incidents show a pattern of financial maneuvering that casts doubt on his judgment. When combined with a high-profile conviction and a seemingly unrepentant public persona, it all adds up to a very tough sell. Still, in a world where celebrity status and political calculations increasingly intersect, stranger things have happened. Todd Chrisley has made a career out of beating the odds, or at least looking like he has. If he can harness his charm, influence, and some strategic legal positioning, he might just turn the tide. But make no mistake, if a pardon is in the cards, it won't be because Todd Chrisley knows best. It'll be because someone in power decides he's learned enough to deserve a second chance. And even then, the jury of public opinion may never be fully convinced.